Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another video. I hope that this video finds you well, and I hope that it reaches somebody who needs to hear an encouraging word, or maybe someone who needs to hear something that has been on their heart and weighed them down for years, that will help them to realize that God is the bond breaker. If you've got something that's bounding you down, God can break that boundary away if you just come to Jesus. And, like I was watching a program or a video last night. It's called Infamous Locations, where people had been murdered, or, they've died. And it's by a guy named Eric Harmon, but he goes by Harmon, and he's a young guy. He is a some kind of like a special needs teacher, like for autistic children. And I don't know if he's got a class or he just teaches substitutes or student, how he does it. But anyway, he's really an in-depth young man that really gets into his videos. So, but anyway, last night he said. One of the videos, and I don't know exactly how he meant it, because I know his dad passed away many years ago, and he was adopted. And these are things he told people, so they know more about his background. But he actually said the quote or the phrase, maybe he had a come to Jesus moment about one of the criminals. Well, one can hope that that criminal did come to Jesus and ask for forgiveness. Hey, don't sit there and say, well, he just did something. Well, you know what? Think about Paul in the Bible. He was killing and slaying Christians, but he became one of the 12 disciples. See, God forgives because, all evil things that are done through a man, and I know I sit there and watch things, and I get so mad at these people for doing it, but it is them doing it because they're allowing the enemy to put that in their minds so bad that it pushes them to it, like murdering, raping, anything like that, robbing, whatever. But you know what? If they come to the Lord Jesus Christ, he can take all that away. And even though man will not forgive them, God does. And you got to look at it this way. Like, when you say, forgiving someone, well, I've always heard it this way. You don't forgive people for them. You forgive them for yourself, because you're not supposed to be holding back unforgiveness. And if I haven't, Lord, right now, I forgive anybody who's ever done me wrong, because, it's not healthy to hold that in, even though you don't think about it, but it's really not healthy to hold it in either. Now, like, people that, like I said yesterday about holding in stuff, you don't realize that it could be a trigger of what's causing you to feel certain ways either. That's why you need to clear the air by saying it and asking the Lord to take care, take it away, and he will. He will. The Lord loves you. He came to die for you. There's nothing you're going through that he can't help you through. And like I was saying, these people, it gets me so mad. I want to go through the screen and just punch them right in the face. But in most cases, they've killed themselves after they, like, I heard like the Aurora, Sandy Hook was where it was called, what it was at. It's supposed to be. I don't know. No. In the Black Knight Rises, the Batman film, it was like, I think it had a Sandy Hook in it. And then just like not even a week or two later, or maybe before, I can't remember, there was a Sandy Hook school that just happened to get hit, But now he's finding where some of this stuff is true. And they do literally have, the everything there. And I don't know that they would go to, well, I guess if you're evil, you'd do anything to make people believe stuff. But the guy that was supposed to have done the Sandy Hook thing, I heard, which this could be just, a legend, it may not be at all true, but I heard that he died the day before Sandy Hook happened. I don't know whether it was true or not. When it comes to these incidents in the world and painful incidents where people lost lives there, lost loved ones, you have to take it with a grain of salt, especially if Fox News is behind it. Chances are it might be made up. Not that I'm saying CNN and all them's better. They all report what they're told, and they don't know whether the story has any backing on it. But the one thing that we know is true is what's coming out of Israel. Israel has always been a place where there's always fighting. They're always trying to destroy the Jewish people and take away their land. Well, you look at it this way. They're not going to take Israel from the Jewish people. Those are God's people. God has already tucked his hand off from America, and his total focus is on them. And God be with them, help them, bless them, and keep them at peace. In Jesus' mighty name. And I'm talking about the Israel, the Jewish people. The ones that's coming against them is allowing the enemy, and in most, when it comes to any world government, they are literally letting the enemy run it. Someone said, now I don't remember if I saw it or not. I may have had, but I can't remember. But when that one thing, okay, I'll say his name, although I don't care for him. Obama was in office. He was on the White House lawn giving a lie on microphone. And if you looked right behind him in the window of the White House, they said you could see a demon. Now, I don't know if it was or not, but there's something to do with that White House that is demonic. I mean, the only ones that I know of that ever tried to get peace, I don't even remember. I want to say Reagan wasn't too bad of a president, but I was a young kid, so I really don't remember. All the ones I can remember, like the Bushes and stuff, they weren't right. They were evil people. Like Papa Bush, who's dead and gone, and so is Mama Bush, George and Barbara. I mean, he was the one that said we need a new world order. Okay, well that was just tinking it in people's heads what was going to happen. They'll say, they try to make you think at most everything that's going to happen, you get to vote on it. But you know what? If you think about it, when you and maybe you did vote for Biden, which I don't think he's in charge of nothing. I think he's already empty. There's nothing in that brain. I think he has something wrong with him, which is either Alzheimer's or dementia. Because there's sometimes they show him and he looks empty, totally empty. And other times he's up there talking. Now, if you ever watched a speech where he was talking to somebody and he went totally into Dum-Dumville talking, and everybody's taking every word he's saying, but you're like, what is he talking about? Now, I never really got into any of his, I really haven't got in any of the speeches, because I know it's just a bunch of lying promises that will never be put through. And that goes for Trump, too. Trump is no different. I mean, honestly, he's not no different. I mean, he is just as wicked as they are. Everybody thinks, oh, well, President Trump is a Christian. If he is, then why is he hanging around with such false teachers? The old saying, birds of a feather flock together. Well, you know what? He's flocking with a bunch of wickedness. Kenneth Copeland prayed for him. Paula White, please. That's evil in its highest form when it comes to Kenneth Copeland. Well, not its highest form, but earthly form. I mean, it's sad that it's like that. But you know what? It has to be like that to fulfill God's teachings, God's Bible prophecies that have been told years ago. They say a man's family is one that will turn against him the fastest, and it's true. They will. You know, I don't really socialize with a lot of my family. I mean, I talk to them on Facebook and stuff. But as far as the only person in my family that I'm truly, truly close to, it's my cousin that helps me take care of my brother. That's really the only one. And of course, my Uncle Roger, which is her dad, my mom's brother. I talk to him at times. We don't talk every day. And, you know, and I'm just not, I'm not close. Oh, well, I'm also close to my Aunt Libby, which was which was my mom's baby sister. She's just a couple years older than me. I think she's getting ready to turn 56, and because I'll be 54, my brother will be 57, and Jason will be 47. That's all in August, Lord willing. And but I hope that the rapture happens before. You know, I sit here, and there's times that I enjoy cleaning my house. I enjoy, you know, doing things in my home. But there's also times I just feel like I've told you before, I feel like I'm being pulled away. I mean, there's nothing left here for me. Honestly, the what the world redeems as fun is wicked. You can't go to a movie because it's full of demons. It's full of Hollywood. You know, Hollywood is Hellwood, is what it is, because they're putting something demonic in before your eyes, but giving it a pretty, you know, a pretty picture like Walt Disney does. Walt Disney is full of evil, and now they're taking up to backing the whole Sodom and Gomorrah life taken off. Well, that's tucking off. The one that's giving Christians, people the right to tell us to, you know, just go in. Basically, they're saying Christians need to go in a closet and stay like we were, you know, talking about the gay people were. You know what? They should have stayed in the closet. Nothing against them. They should come out of it. It's what they should. When they came out of the closet, they should have came out of the light, because that's not of God. And they're out there really pressuring, you know, everything about what they're doing. And you know what? They're doing nothing but paving the road to hell. Man, like I watched this one. I watched it a couple times. I can't remember what video channel it was, but there was one on there where this woman who is bisexual, what I say is stupid sexual, can't get enough and don't care who they're with. And then right beside of her is a boy that's dressed up like a girl who looks like Buddha. And he's trying to get his, and I do mean his, 10 cents in. And it ain't worth a penny, what he's got to say. Because he's living a lie, believing a lie, being led by the master of lies, the enemy. The devil himself is in that life. At one time, I was believing that it was the way I was born, and I believed that a man's world ended when he died. But you know, when I came to Jesus, and he showed me exactly what it was. All of that was end times prophecy coming together to what it is right now. We're in the final stretches of, I guess you could say, normalism. There's no normal anymore, so I can't say normalism. But we're in the final seconds of the last days before the tribulation. Before the tribulation starts, this is my belief. And if you don't believe it, you don't need to come on here and put a bunch of trash because I will delete it. This is a channel about the love of God, not the mouth of man. And I want to put this out there too, that I do not ask for money. I did once to help with some bills and stuff, but it wasn't meant to happen, so it didn't. And I'm still working with those bills, but that's okay because God makes a way for me, and I thank you, Lord Jesus. So, this is not one of those channels that always says, well, if you'd like to help our ministry, visit our merch page. I don't have merch, won't have merch, and don't care for merch. I'm on here for one reason. That's not to get rich, not to buy a house or a car or anything like that. And I'm not saying those people that are doing that aren't doing it. Most of them are legit because that's what they do for a living. And in these days, it's more the safer way to live because you don't have to really go out of your house to do anything. You can find everything on the internet you need to make those videos. So I'm not saying it's bad that people do that. There's some people that are doing it for a good reason to pay their living expenses. And that's fine. But some of them do it just for the simple fact that they love money, like the prosperity gurus and geeks and liars. But getting back to what I said, this channel is a pre-tribulation rapture. I believe because the way the Bible, when you read the Bible about the rapture, it's very clear. It's right there in black and white. It says that before God's judgment, the bride of Christ will be removed. And the bride of Christ is the church. And no, the church did not take the place of the Jewish people. So don't anybody say that. The Jewish people are Father God's chosen people. And he, like I said earlier, he has already turned his hand on them to where he's watching over them now. He's no longer going to bless America. So if you're sitting there telling people, please pray for God's blessing upon America, you know what? This is what's supposed to be happening before the rapture and before the 7-year tribulation. So God's already blessed America. And what did America do with that blessing? I mean, it was the land of wealth and everything. It was like I guess you'd say a vegetable soup of nationalities living. But now you can't trust anyone because the enemy can put anybody in your path that you have to be careful. That's why I'd rather be in my house and go nowhere at all than to, be out in this world and run into someone who's hyped up on drugs or demonically possessed. I mean, my car is in the shop, and I do want to get it, but if I never do get it out, if I get it out of the shop and I can't afford to keep it, then I'll just sell it. I don't care anymore. I can't. I don't like going out. The only reason why I'm getting my car fixed is so that me and my brother doesn't have to call for a ride when we go to the doctors. Our doctor's like not even a block and a half from where we live at. But he and I both are not able to walk that far. But having my car, we could drive up there. And that's good. Now, I want to say, as I was saying in yesterday's video, there's a lot of people out there that are carrying unforgiveness that you need. And well, this is today's, not yesterday's. You're carrying unforgiveness in your heart for someone that did you wrong. Well, you have to let that go. You have to ask God and ask God, please take this. Tell yourself it's not good for me to hold on to this grudge against a person. And you got to also remember growing up, like I said stuff that I really didn't mean when I said it. They were just words, empty words. Now, some people's threats were not empty, but mine pretty much were empty threats because I wasn't a fighting person. I always wanted to love everybody. I wanted everybody to like me and to accept me. But you know what? Now I'm at the point I don't care. I mean, you get to a certain age. Well, I think I even earlier in age that I don't care. I don't care if anybody accepts me or don't accept me or don't want me around, because you know what? I'm in my home. I don't go nowhere. And if you come to my house, well then apparently you want to be around me. And if you don't want to be around me, then stay away from my house. Because I'm not coming looking for you. You're coming looking for me. Know the difference. Have a little bit of smarts inside your head. Don't let the world take everything. And when I say the world, I mean the enemy, the devil. Don't let them take everything that you got a little bit of sense. You need to give your life over to the Lord Jesus Christ, because he's the only one that can save you from going to hell. You know, I think about the times when I was at places, throughout my life. There was times I didn't even feel I belonged in my own home. This is after my mom and dad passed away, and I had to get my own homes. There was times I didn't feel like I belonged there because the people in it made me feel not wanted, and it was my home. It's sad to feel that way, and if you're feeling that way, ask God to take it. Ask God to put you where He wants you. And if you don't want to be living with anybody but a brother or a sister that you're taking care of, or you're a cousin, or just a good friend and a good Christian friend that y'all get along and everything, then just tell God you don't want the other people around you. Like for me, I'm happy with Jesus, Jason, and the two fur babies in me here. Yes, I have a friend that stops by. Yes, I have a cousin that comes by. But those are really the only ones that ever come to my apartment. And I'm okay with that. My neighbors don't come. One of my neighbors acted like she had a caring instinct in her, but she said, I was going to call for a welfare check because I haven't heard him in there. And my cousin said, well, he's in a nursing home right now. He has to have physical therapy. And when I came home, I told this before, my cousin asked her first if she could please get my trash out to the curb, and she said, "Yeah, we can do that." I said, She said, "Okay." And then I asked her one time. She's like, "Yeah, we'll get it." And then naturally, I would think that until I got somebody, that they would automatically know it needed to be tucked out. I even offered to pay people, and they said, "No, you don't have to pay us. We're going that way anyway." Well, came down to one time I asked her if she'd ask her son if he would take my trash up. And she kind of got a comical type attitude to me. And when she did that, I never asked her again. It's like she was basically saying to me that I was inconveniencing her just to ask her to do something that any good neighbor would automatically do. I mean, honestly, if I was able and I lived near an elderly person that needed someone to take their trash to the curb, I would do it. But I'm not even able to take my own to the curb. So I'm just saying, people are cold-hearted. The love of the love in people has waxed cold. Their love is hard as cement. With a candle wax, it can be melted by heat. These people don't have any kind of compassion for people. And then a lot of people may not have compassion because they work somewhere that they're disrespected, but they need to understand that, it's, I don't know how to put it, that you can't blame everybody for what's happening in your jobs. Because I know working in places now, if it ain't the management doing it, it's the customer, the clientele that comes in there, or customer, that come in there and give you attitudes or act like you're there because it's all about them. And you're just there to sell the product. You being nice is a part of who you are. And also in businesses, it's what the businesses tell you. But working in a convenience store, they don't tell you to be polite all the time, because there's times that you have to get a little bit of an attitude. I did when I worked in there. I had a guy threaten to punch me in the face, and the girl that was working with me, her name was, I can't remember. Oh, Stacy. She said, "Don't talk to my boss like that," or she may have said, "Don't talk to my friend like that." And I was sitting right there. I said, "You're still not getting it, no matter what," because he wanted to buy alcohol after 10 o'clock, and or after 9 o'clock. You're not allowed to buy it, or it was after 10 o'clock. And he said something to me, and she said, "Don't be talking to him like that." She may have known the guy, I don't know, but he said, "You stay out of this." She goes, "No, I won't." And she walked around the front of the counter, and he dared her to step in front of him. She stepped in, and she said, "I think you need to leave now." And she would have probably laid him out, honestly. And I honestly probably would have laughed if she did. Probably the whole store would have laughed, because he was a heathen. He was in there starting trouble over something he didn't need in the first place, because he was already showing he had an attitude. If he got alcohol in him, he'd be even more attitudey. Attitudey. Okay, never mind. Attitudey. He had an attitudey. Um, but anyway, like I was saying, he came in there and gave me attitude. And I had people come in there and try stuff like that, but I never really had anybody to do what he did. Did it scare me? I wasn't shaken or anything by him. I mean, I have a funny feeling if he would have punched me just one time, I would have probably done stuff I wished I hadn't done. Because when I get mad, and I am, and my anger gets balled into a fist, I at that time I could do stuff that I normally couldn't do, just by the anger inside of me, and I don't like being that way. That's one reason why I don't want to be out in the public working in a public job, because I don't want to be, forced or enticed to be in that kind of accurate towards people. Because as a child of God, we're supposed to show the love of God, and I don't think the love of God is in a curled fist and knocking somebody out, and I don't want to do that. Not anyway. Now my fist probably wouldn't. I probably end up breaking it. Uh, Being older, you don't have what you used to have when you were younger. If you're looking at the way I'm looking right now, this looks just like my mom. And I do favor my mom. Now more than ever, because I ain't got no teeth and she didn't have any before she left. But I don't want to be of the world, in the world. I don't know. I just want to be of God. I want to seek God's will in every way. I mean, yeah, there's times I like to have company, other Christians to come and see me, or have like someone my age that maybe I didn't grow up with, but they growed up in the same era that I did, in the 70s and 80s, that we can sit and talk. Even I can talk about some of the 60s, although I don't remember any of them, because I was born in August of 69. Almost, well, one more day I'd have been born in September, because I was born on August 31st. And my birthday's in August, remember? Just joking. My birthday now, to me, and has been for a while, is just another day. I mean, nobody else since mom and dad passed away has really ever. Well, I think I may have had one birthday party, but it wasn't a good birthday party, because it had, my old life was in it there, where I lived in the homosexual life, and it wasn't a good one because there was drinking and everything. But anyway, birthday to me is just another day. It really is. Because to me, that's the month that my mom and dad left us in. So it's just another day that I happen to turn a year older. but it doesn't. It's not a celebration. And then do I like that people say happy birthday? Yeah, it's nice to know that people acknowledge that it's my birthday, even if it is put up in their news feed on Facebook, and they tell me that's still nice to know that people, like I do when I see someone's birthday, I tell them happy birthday. I hope they have a great day or a blessed day, or you know, I hope your day is a good one and you enjoy your special day or your birthday. I hope you have a good day today on your birthday or something like that. But anyway, brothers and sisters, don't hold anything in that is hurting you. You know, if you're around a certain person, just being around them makes you not comfortable or you know, hateful, or you get mad and grouchy, then don't go around them. You know, my oldest brother, I love him. I do. I love my brother. My brother in the bedroom in there loves him too, but neither one of us truly want to be around him. I'm going to tell you something that's kind of funny. I may have already told it once. It's funny, but it's not, because my older brother is older than I am, but he asked for it. No, well, yeah, actually he did, but he didn't. He done what he was supposed to do, but he got what he got because he did that. He kind of thought that the other person forgot, and they didn't. They was holding a little bit of a grudge, which it may not have so much been what he did. It may have been the fact they were just with him and they didn't want to be. And I'm talking about my brother Chuck and my brother Jason. When I was in the nursing home, Jason had to stay with Chuck and his girlfriend. And now his girlfriend was the one taking care of Jason. And I know that because she had, my cousin had tucked him back up there when I was heading back to, you know, back to the emergency room, thinking I was going to end up in the hospital, but I didn't. I got to come back. I just had a stomach virus. I just had got over the COVID stomach thing, and then I had a stomach virus. I got chronic diarrhea. I'm not being nasty, but I did. I couldn't stop doing it. It was like I could move, and there it goes. It was like, there it is. But anyway, it was really hectic on me because I'm laying in bed. I can't hardly move, and I have to reach and try to clean myself. It was hard, but you know what? God got me through it. Thank you, Lord Jesus. And but anyway, my brother had went and stayed with him. Please forget the picture of the other. My brother had to go stay with my oldest brother, and they were eating one day, and Jason, if you give him a big spoon, he's bad about crowding his mouth full of food. And I don't give him a big spoon. We have little tiny teaspoons. They're more like a baby spoon, you know. But they're supposed to be teaspoons, but they're way littler than a teaspoon because they got a black plastic handle on them with a little silver thing that keeps the handle to the spoon. If it comes off, it's just a little spoon, but it has that handle on it, and that's what he eats with here. Well, apparently, I think that my brother must have gave him a regular size spoon, and he was crowding his mouth full of his food. And so Chucky done the right thing, took it from him. You know, I was getting a drink of my coffee. But anyway, Chuck took the bowl from him because he was crowding his mouth. And I don't know, I think it probably was maybe early evening. And that night, Chuck was putting Jason to bed. And it was real funny because they were walking down the hall. Well, Chuck made the mistake of letting Jason walk behind him. And Jason hauled off. And when Jason hits, it's not soft. He can hit really hard. That's why I say, I think it's funny that he did it. But then again, I don't think it's funny because he could really have hurt Chuck. But he did. He hauled off and he just hit Chuck right in the back. Kind of like he was saying, take my bowl again, will you? Or why am I staying here? Boom, I want to go home to Bubby. And I'm glad he's here because when he did come back home last year, he was smiling. He came in there in the bedroom where I was sitting on the edge of the bed because I didn't have much strength. I was weak. And he came in there where I was at and he was, hugging me. And I said, easy, Bubby, easy, easy, honey. I can't. Still not, I'm still weak. And he was hugging me and when he was laying, like trying to lay on me, which I was able to keep him from knocking me back. I didn't want that to happen, not with that big incision. Now he gets rough, that's okay. When I get it's either when I get him up to bring him into the living room or when I'm putting him to bed at night. He has to lay his head on my shoulder where my head is on his shoulder and hug me before he goes to sleep. And he has to have a kiss before he goes to bed. Now, I don't know that Chuck did that with him, but I always have. I've always either given him a kiss or hugged him. And, he gets a hug and a kiss through the day, too. I kiss his hands, when I go by, I'll go, give me that hand. And if I go, pucker up, he knows to bring his hand closer to me. He'll go like this, like he's bringing his hand to me. So I don't have to bend in over top the foot part of his recliner. Because I'm fat and there ain't no way of bending over that. But anyhow, that was kind of rhyming and funny. Yeah, that's good. But anyway, I'm trying to do something about it. I tried this mixture stuff, which I'm going to do it again. And I'll try it here in a couple of days because the way my stomach's been, I think that might have something to do with it. I don't know for sure. But it's, you take an eighth of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, some fresh lemon juice, which I use the fresh lemon juice in a bottle because I don't have a juicer or, I wouldn't want to squeeze a seed in it. And you don't squeeze seeds out of a bottle. And I'm hoping that it really comes from a lemon. Although these days, who knows? And then you take a squirt of 100% natural honey, raw honey. And you put that in there. It's either the lemon or the honey. I think it's more both of them. But one of them, when you stir it all together, it takes the ting out of the cayenne pepper. And I've been taking those, but when my stomach's acted kind of funny over it, so I'm not. Oh no, I didn't, and everything. I remember. I remember the last time I did it. It didn't seem like it was bothering me, but it is because I've had the bathroom usage a lot, which maybe that's what it's supposed to do. I don't know, but I've been on diet plans that didn't send me to the bathroom. Because for me, that's not an easy task to get in there and get out. If I do it a couple of times, I'm wore out from just having to walk in the bathroom. Because when I'm going to the bathroom, I'm like, almost like I'm just run down. And then I get in there and I get done and I'm so tired I can't hardly do anything. Then I get up, come in here and sit in the chair and I it's like my Energizer bunny's in my chair. When I sit down on it, I energize back up. Now, if I go to the bathroom just to, number one, urinate, I'm fine. I don't get tired. I go in there, I stand, I do it, and I come back out, get in my wheelchair, come back in the living room. Sometimes I even walk to the bathroom. But to walk to the bathroom, sometimes I'm okay. Other times it wears me out. And I have to watch because my legs get wobbly. And I don't want to fall on the floor. Not now anymore because I don't have carpet on my floor now. It's tile, and I don't want to fall on that stuff. It's like the old, 1950s type tile on it. Which these places are old. But you know what? God gives me peace in this place I'm in. He really does. I'm thankful for my home. It's the only place I want to be is right here. and God's Spirit being heavy as it can inside of our home. I want God's Spirit to be so heavy if someone walks through that door that's in a lifestyle that's not pleasing to God, they get struck down with conviction, that it hits them so hard they have to turn around and walk back out. Now, the human in me might wonder, well, why they do that for? But I'll be reminded what it was, why they did that. Honestly, especially if someone walks through my door, that's my family members that are in the sodomite lifestyle, homosexuality, that they get convicted just coming through my door. I sit here and I watch these videos. It makes me mad, but it also makes me want to pray more for the kids that are being done wrong. I say it many times on these videos, and I'll say it again. Don't try to make your child something they're not. It's bad enough when parents push their kids into sports or push them into cheerleading or after school clubs and stuff like that. That was bad enough that you did that. But don't. I mean, push them toward doing sports. That's fine as long as it's a boy sport for a boy and a girl sport for a girl. Don't try to push your boy into a girl sport to make him a girl. No, it ain't going to happen, and you're going to make that child miserable. I don't care how much these ones that say, I'm fine, like that one I saw. It says, this is disgusting. And you know what? That title is exactly right. It was disgusting. And I guess the boy thought he was, and I will say boy because he's not a man by the way he acts. The boy looked disgusting, dressed in the most tightest outfit he could put on, pouring out of it, and not in a good way. Sitting there trying to explain why he is what he is, which they didn't let him talk long. They cut him out of the video, which I'm glad they did. It's disgusting. Instead of him trying to be a woman, he ought to be trying to lose weight and be a man, what God made him to be. And I'm not saying anything that ain't true. I'm not judging these people. I'm just saying the truth. They need to get their life the way God made them, not the way man cut them, nicked them, tucked them, and blowed them up. That's a man-made woman, which is not a woman. That is a man turned into look like what he's not. And a lot of them, I got news for you. No matter how much they try to, they do not look like a woman. Like these drag clowns out there doing drag shows and stuff. A lot of them, back when I was, in the clown scene, back when I was in the club scene and stuff, the ones back then really went through to look like female impersonators. That's actually what they call them, was female impersonators. Then it got taken into, and they should have never been. I should have never done it. It was all wrong. I had a acquaintance that I knowed his mom. She was like a second mom to me, in my teenage years. Of course, she passed away in 2006, and he passed away about 10 years after her. I would say no. I don't really remember exactly when he did, but I think he passed away. It was after 2015, I know. But anyway, he passed away. From what I heard, it was drug related. I don't know. I wasn't there, and I'm not going to say what he did. But one time I had posted on Facebook, and it was going like, I had it for public, which means it went everywhere. And when I posted that, he saw the post that I posted asking people to pray for my niece and nephew to be delivered out of the life they were living, homosexual life. And he came back on there and said, why don't you just leave your niece and nephew alone? They are living what they were born to do. Just because you couldn't cut it and you didn't belong doesn't mean you need to be going off on them or trying to change their life. And I wanted so bad to snap back at him and say, this is none of your business, and put back to him, just because you want to live for the devil doesn't mean I want my niece and nephew to live for him. And I could have done that being right on the right to say that, but I didn't. I shut up and I blocked him. And it is sad that he died because he was a nice person, but well, he was a nice person if he, I don't know how you say it. He is a nice person if you were in the life, and even if you weren't and you accepted him as he was a nice person. But come against him, and he ought to know of all things that God was real, because his mama told me a story back when he was younger. He had demons chasing him, and she had to take him to a church to get the demons gone. And little did he know that the demons that were chasing him were just some of the demons that he was left with after he went back into and done drag shows. There for a while, he quit and he was going to school. He was going to try to make his life right. I think he was going to be a lawyer or something. Well, that's not good either. But anyway, because from what lawyers I see, they know that their client is guilty. They know. They can feel it too. But you know what? They have to believe that they're not, which means they are up there lying, defending a crook or a murderer. And I mean, how can you sit there and look at somebody that is just has no emotions to what's being said, and not know that they're guilty of what they're being acclaimed being guilty of? That's what the world we live in is like that, brothers and sisters. That's why God says, "Be ye." If y'all hear that, that's me, Bubby. I hear you, honey. That's why this world we're in, we're supposed to be ye separate, because this world takes people into a stage that they go into that's of an evil spirit that is connecting to their spirit and pulling them more into hell, where God wants us to be filled with his spirit and be ready to go when he comes. And I tell you right now, it ain't going to get no better. Don't look for normal. Normal left a long time ago. Please don't look for normal. Look for Jesus. He's coming. He really is. He really is. He is coming just any day now. And I'm not saying like, oh, he'll be here tomorrow, next day. No, I'm saying he could come at any moment. I mean, could it be today? Yeah. Could it be tomorrow? Yeah. Could it be in a few months? Yes. Could it be next year? Yes. Could it be 10 years from now? Yes. But I don't believe that it's 10 years away. I really don't, because the signs are coming together. They are just like snapping together like Lego, and not people putting one piece at a time. There's like major Lego stacks being put on top of other Lego stacks to the Bible prophecy. It's like these prefabricated buildings they bring and build, I mean, no wonder when earthquakes come by. No wonder when earthquakes come by that they are tearing places down, because these places aren't built like man used to. Like with cement and board and all. I can't even say it right, but like they used to build a brick home. It wasn't snapped together by prefabricated bricks. It was literally set, and they let cement dry as they were working on something else, which I've even heard, like if you tear down a brick home, the cement that's in the back part, like toward the wall in the home, some of that's not even dried in the middle, between the outside and inside. In the middle, it's not even dry, but I don't know. I think it all dries. Because you think about it, red bricks, they heat up. Well, I live in a brick home, and it's easier to cool. Of course, I'm like back in like the back part, and I have an eave that goes over my windows, and it's good. It's good and cool. Like, it's going to be 80 some degrees today. Probably next week we'll have a foot of snow. I'm just joking, but I don't know. West Virginia weather. But anyway, it'd probably be raining and colder, because it has been. It's been like bouncing between. Some nights it gets down to 31. I mean, and this is May. You know, I mean, we're usually in the spring like 60, 65 at night. Don't get me wrong. I like the colder temperatures at night because I literally take and I have my window cracked just a little tiny bit to where the wind can blow through my room. Now, it's kind of weird the way I have it, but one side of my window, it's double windows. You have to slide two windows to get it open. I'm supposed to have a screen on it, but I do, but it isn't. No, my cat got out one night, and I was really, truly worried. But I did get him back in by grabbing him and jerking him and closing the window. Well, since then, I've moved my bed to where it runs down along the wall in front of my closet. Yeah, blocks my closet, but all my closet has in it is a wheelchair, so it doesn't matter. And that's where we're going to put stuff that we don't need, and we use the spare room for the closet to hang our shirts and stuff. And if I ever get my TV stand together, which I've been trying to get together since I got it about a couple months, but it's been over a couple months ago that I bought it, and can't find anybody to come and put it together for me. I had one guy say he would, then his wife said she could, and I kind of just got to where I don't trust them. They've never come through, and there's a reason why they're not coming here. And in my thoughts, it's because God don't want them to. So I'm not asking them to do it anymore. I mean, someone will come along that I know, and I can ask them, and they'll put it together. And if not, I'll just have to get something else easier to put together. It is a real pretty thing that would fit into my room, really pretty. But if I don't get it together, that's okay. I don't care. But anyway, I started to take those two shelves you see right there in front of the TV, those two right there. I started to take those to put my TV on it, but if I put my TV up on it, then it's covering up my shelf and my candles on the wall. I have battery candles that I got a remote control that I can turn on in my room. I've got there's a whole set of 9 in there. It looks really good. It really does, yeah. Although I had one shelf that fell down, and I heard it one day, and I hollered at my cats, thinking they did it. It wasn't the cats. The shelf just came off the wall, and it was on nails. But I guess something got shifted around and weighted it off. And I have tea lights too that light up by remote control. Anyway, I don't even care about that. I don't care about getting that shelf together. If I do, I do. Or that it's supposed to be like a TV stand. It's not a home entertainment center. It's a TV stand that has 3 doors on the bottom that I can put my clothes in and close them up. But that's okay. Neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. If I ever get clothes, I can fold up and keep them folded up because I don't have a lot of clothes. I order me a little something every once in a while, like shirts, and I ordered like 3 pairs of pants recently, and I cut one of those off. Well, sweatpants, pajama pants, and I cut one of those off into shorts because I ordered them real big. But where I ordered them real big, I have to take and grab the legs of them and put them up on the side of my legs when I sit in my wheelchair, because if not, my front wheels will grab them, and I'm taking my pants off, and my wheelchair's stuck because I'm sitting on my pants, and I'm a big boy. Big old man, let me tell you. I can fill a frying pan with baked potatoes and throw them out too, to tell you the truth, because I don't eat that much. And I really don't. I mean, I don't eat that much. And that could be a thing of why I'm not losing weight, because I don't eat like I should. I eat maybe 1 or 2 meals a day, and I snack a little bit here and there. Well, actually, I snack when I'm in bed. I sit there and eat sugar wafers or something like that. And I try to always drink me a glass of milk, a glass of milk before I go to bed. I like a glass. I do. I love a glass of milk. Do you love a glass of milk? My hat loves a glass of milk. Let me tell you. Ooh, 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 I was just joking. Just a little tiny bit, I joke. But anyway, I remember getting back to what I was talking about. When it comes to people in this world, I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be a part of their group. Or as we used to say, the flunkies you hang around with. The flunkies you hung around with. Honka honka. The horns you used to blow with. There you go. That doesn't make any sense. But anyway, let's say I don't want to go to the neighborhood. I don't want to go to the neighborhoods I once lived in and toot my horn. I don't want to go to the neighbor horn. But anyway, okay, today's my tongue-tied day. But anyway, brothers and sisters, I know I've talked about a lot, probably talked about nothing that interests you, but know this, if you're holding a grudge against somebody because of something they did or something they said, that was back then. That was the past. You can't change it, no matter how you try. It doesn't mean you have to trust them, but you do need to forgive them for yourself and mainly because Jesus says to forgive. To be forgiven, you must forgive. So to feel relief in both ways, forgive them. And if it's possible for you to tell them that you forgive them, then tell them you forgive them. So you might not know what I'm talking about, but I forgive you. And then you can remind them if you want to, and maybe they will. But if that person's already gone and you're holding grief against them and not forgiving them, because they may have never remembered to say they're sorry, because certain things like that didn't really hold water with them, That may have been something they were, at the moment, they were angry about, but after they got over it, they were over it, and you just kept going with it. But if they're gone and you're still allowing that incident to hold you, captive in unforgiveness, know this right now, just because you're still mad at them, they're in the grave, they don't care. They don't have any worries at all. I can't say they don't have any. Well, personally, the body they were in don't have any worries until judgment. But if they know Jesus, they're with him. They've asked for forgiveness, and they're with him. Because people can get saved on their deathbed. So remember that. And that they're going to perish. They're going to go somewhere that the Lord doesn't want them going, because he didn't create it for humans. He created it for the devil and his angels. And I don't like calling the demonic dominions that he has angels, because I see angels as a heavenly thing, but those were angels. They were fallen angels. And they aren't good. And there's demonic presence in this world. You have to plead the blood of Jesus over everything in your home, in your life, your car, your kids, everything. Because the blood of Jesus is that strong that it keeps them away. I love you all, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week this week, and Lord willing, I'll be back on here tomorrow. But if the Lord comes, I'll see you with Jesus in the air. Most wanted is that, to be going home, where you don't have these days of unassurance, with your feelings and stuff. But anyway, I'll see you next video, or even better, see you in the air with Jesus. I love you all, and I hope you have a good day.